Hello friends, this is Nisar Beg, your host for our YouTube channel Shout Loud. In today's topic, we will talk about which PG course to choose after the completion of MBBS. This video is specially designed for MBBS graduates who are planning for PG. MD stands for Doctor of Medicine and DNB stands for Diplomat of National Board. With me here is two experts from medical field, Dr. Akif Beg, who has completed his DNB in general medicine and currently doing DM in cardio. And we have Dr. Srikant, who is currently pursuing third year in his MD. Welcome on board, Dr. Akif and Dr. Srikant, for today's discussion. I will request both of them to give a short introduction, before we start. Over to you, Akif.
Okay. Hello everyone. This is Dr. Akif. I'm a DM cardiology first year resident at Guntur Medical College, Andhra Pradesh. I've pursued my MBBS from Siddhartha Medical College, and later on, then I have joined DNB General Medicine, which I did from PD Hinduja Hospital, Mumbai, and now I'm doing my residency here.
Yeah. Thank you, Akif. Srikant.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Srikant, and I did my UG in Siddhartha Medical College, Vijayawada. Now I'm doing MD General Medicine in GRMC Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh.
Thank you, Dr. Srikant. So, guys, let's start. With our today's agenda. Especially for the MBBS candidates, it's very confusing, which course to choose, whether it's MD or DNB. So, Akif, is it really so much to think after MBBS?
Yeah, to be frank, yes. We are, most of the colleagues, like most of our junior colleagues, MBBS, but once they pursue MBBS, so they have a lot of questions. So like where to move their career to, like whether they have to, first out they'll have to, whether they want to settle in India or whether they want to go out. So whether they want, if they want to go out, then it is completely different discussion, which we'll not be discussing it right now. If we want to continue our career in India, then yes, we have options. Like we can either go in government colleges to pursue MD or MS, or we can look for like private institute who also offers MD/MS, and also there is another option which is DNB. So this session is mainly based for that only. So hope slow by one we clear all your doubts most.
Thank you, Akif. So the main common question every candidate asks is like how to apply for these PG colleges. How to apply for MD, how to apply for DNB, right? So what is your take on this?
See, now it is a common exam only. It's through a NEET PG entrance, which is conducted once a year. So now, so once you write your, like after you finish your MBBS, you are you can apply for a NEET PG entrance, and when you write the NEET entrance, and once you clear it, once you qualify it, you get a rank, and based on your NEET PG rank, you can either apply for DNB. Like for, if you want to consider DNB as an option, then you have to apply for DNB counseling separately with the same hall ticket. You may not give another exam, but from through the same rank card, you can apply for DNB counseling, or you go for a directly all India PG counseling, which is for the MD/MS quota, that is conducted separately. So it's via same exam, but we have to apply separately to consider for MD/MS or DNB.
Okay, yeah, thank you for answering this, Akif. So when coming back to the academics of DNB and MD, so what is the difference in between them? Srikant, if you can take that.
Actually, in medical colleges, here is the teaching is a primary thing for the consultants. But main drawback here is because of so much patients exposure, they are not getting much time to teaching us. So we have to learn alone only.
Okay. Anything to add, Akif? Especially in regards to the patient exposure, and the candidates allowed to touch patients when they do their academics.
Yeah. So coming back to your first question of academics wise, yes, in DNB, basically the academics depends upon like which institute you are choosing. So in DNB, choosing a right institute is very, very important. Okay, so like where I have pursued my DNB medicine, like their academics used to be much on higher standards actually. So we have to have taken classes. We used to be upgrade to the world. So whatever the new guidelines used to come, we used to discuss those things. Our practice also used to be based on our new guidelines only. So academics much depends upon which institute we choose. Like most of the institutes are good enough, but there are also few institutes. Will not name any of them, but there are few institutes which do not have much academics. And however, like when you come into a post graduation, so it mostly depends upon your own interest. Nobody will be spoon feeding you. Either you do a MDMS or you do a DNB. So if you show your own interest, you need to read things on your own, and then you show interest, and then you ask your consultant. Then they'll be teaching you a few points which they have learned by their clinical practice. So academics is in DNB is purely dependent on which institute you choose. Yeah, as I'm also doing my DM here, I have also have some experience of government setup also, because see, government college basically most of the professors want to teach and all, but the problem in government setup is that we have so much of patience and so much of workload. So like most of us are like completely working whole day and night with the patients only, so that we don't have much time for our academic sessions actually. So that's a little bit drawback. So it's an advantage wise you are getting more exposure to patients, but there is a drawback that you are not able to learn a lot of things from them. Okay, so that's a academics point of view. And then patient exposure wise, in government colleges you will have a lot of exposure. Like you will be seeing like hundreds and hundreds of patients in a day. So you'll be exposed to various kinds of patients. So you'll be able to touch them, you'll be able to do procedures on them, you'll be able to learn all the procedures actually. In DNB, again, the procedure exposure and whether we are allowed to touch patients or not, it also depends on institute to institute. Our institute used to allow us to touch the patient. We used to do all the procedures on them, because it depends on our consultant also. See, if our consultant is confident on us, he will allow us to do procedures, because he know they'll not commit any mistake. So he used to give us a free hand. So it depends upon the consultant also. So, and we also used to do lots of procedures, but may not be as much as in government setup, but we used to get a decent amount of procedures, and also used to have a variety of exposure also to various kinds of patients. And moreover, a few more things to take on, like in government colleges, maybe few things are like they do not have a good lab sometimes. So like they'll be treating hundreds of patients all together, and they'll be managing, but sometimes the few rare diseases which are there, which there are thousands of diseases which are there in books which we don't see in clinical practice. One of the main reasons for that is we do not have a good labs to run some tests, or maybe it may be very costly tests which the patients in a government setup who are a poor people may not afford that kind of test. So most of them don't come into diagnosis, and they're just treated symptomatically and sent to. So which may not happen in a good private sector, where actually patients are able to pay and they do all those tests and follow up is done. So we come up to some diagnosis and there's a good follow up. So there are few advantages in DNB side and few disadvantages as well, and same in compared to MD general medicine or any other branch in government sectors actually.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Akif. As it's more depend upon the institute to institute, right? So is there any suggestion how our candidate needs to choose, how wisely they need to choose their, institutes? What are the things need to be considered? If you can, add some views on it.
Institute wise, it depends upon which branch we are choosing again. So there are few institutes which are very good for a particular branch. Like for medicine, that particular institute may be very good, but may not be as much good as for the surgical branches. So it completely depends upon branch to branch. And altogether, if you want to discuss about institute, should be, I think in this session won't be enough to discuss about that actually. We can have a separate session for that, where we can consider each branch and we can help students to choose the right institute for that. And later on, we can discuss it later actually, I think. But it depends upon branch to branch. There is no particular college which is good for all branches. There's few institutes which are good for particular branches and few are not good for that particular branches.
Okay, thanks for the information, Dr. Akif. So, moving forward, right? regards to job opportunities and the future scopes, in each platform, right? Whether it's a DNB and MD, right? Which has more job opportunities or future scope? Is there any kind of difference? What will be the benefit for the candidate? So, Dr. Srikanth, if you can take that question first.
In my opinion, for job opportunities, there is no much difference for DNB and MD. Both of you can work in government jobs, and both of you can have a private practice, and both of you can work in a corporate hospitals also, and both of you can sit in a DM or MCH entrance for super specialties, and both of you can apply for jobs in UPSC or armed forces. So there is no much difference for DNB or MD, DNB or MD as per job purpose.
Okay. Any other inputs, Akif, if you can add?
Yeah, as rightly said by Dr. Srikanth, yes, for job opportunities, there is no much difference in private sector, basically. So in private sector, both the DNB and MD or MS are considered equivalent. So, and opportunities are also equivalent. I can say it by my experience because I myself has worked work before joining DM. I worked in a private sector where it was not at all differentiated. We are paid equally as among the other MDs, and there was no priorities given to either of us. But yes, if you want to pursue your career in a government colleges or government setups, yes, priority is slightly given to MD, MS candidates when compared to DNB. So it's not like DNB will never get DNB students will never get a job in government sectors. They will get, but the priority is most often given to MD or MS candidates when compared to DNB.
Okay. All right. But which course will have, higher opportunities in terms of foreign? If someone in future wants to pursue something or higher education in foreign, right, or looking forward for some kind of jobs in foreign, which course will help them out?
For foreign, see, most of the countries like USA or UK, they have their own separate exams for that. So for them, actually, MD or DNB doesn't much matter actually, because we have to clear their license exam separately and to pursue any course over there. So yes, for US and UK, it's completely different. Yes, for other countries, some of us can actually go and work there. So for them, actually, there has been few talks that slight priority has been given to DNB when compared to MD or MS, because most of them, they considered this DNB, the way it was designed, the meaning for the design was because of it is almost considered as to be equivalent to the standards in USA. So that's why it's given more value in foreign countries when compared to India actually.
This is a great information. Yeah, I hope this will be helpful for our, viewers. Yeah. So, coming back to the, we have discussed about academics. We have discussed about the job opportunity, future scopes. There is one more area where a candidate always thinks, which is fee structures, the bond, the stipend. Can you walk us through about all these three areas like fees, bond, what are the stipends in DNB, in MD? Maybe we can start with Srikanth first.
For bond purpose, nowadays actually in every government medical college, they will have a 1 year or 2 years or 3 years bond, and depends on medical college. And for fee structure, for fee structure also, it also depends on medical college. Even in my college, 55,000 per annum is per year. Per year you should pay. In South Andhra Pradesh and Telangana medical college, there is 20,000 and 30,000 per year. You should pay, and depends on medical college.
Thank you, Dr. Srikanth. Any pointers to add, Akif?
So fees wise, coming to like DNB, since DNB is a common, it's governed by a common center, that is National Board of Examination in New Delhi. So throughout India, we have a common fees. Now I think when I was there, fees was 80,000 per year. Now I think it's around 1.2 lakhs per year. Yeah, and stipend is given to all the candidates. It depends upon the stipends of the state government. So whatever the state government gives stipend to their MD or MS students in their government colleges, the same stipend is given in the DNB to the DNB candidates as well in the DNB institutes. And like in when compared to that in MD or MS, as you have rightly asked, like the fees and the bond, it depends upon state to state. So like few state has a 1 year bond, few states has 2, a few may have 3 years of bond. I think except for Delhi and some small other states, where there is no bond, but most of the states have a minimum of 1 year bond. And also fees differ from state to state actually. And yes, in DNB, yes, there is no bond for DNB. Once you clear your exam, there is no bond for them actually.
Okay. And regarding to stipend, how is the frequency? Like how frequently, our candidates will get the stipend?
It matters. Again, it depends upon state to state. Like few states, I think they give stipend every monthly. Like in DNB, I don't think it matters. DNB, it's a private institute, so most of them give salary month by month. In state-wise, like few states like Andhra and Telangana, they actually get it every 3 months or 4 months, like that they get the stipend. There's few other states like Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra, where they get like monthly salary. They get monthly stipends actually. So it depends upon state to state.
Okay. And is there any range to those stipends? Like, for MD members, this is the range, and for DNB, or it's also depend upon institute to institute?
No, it depends upon state only. For there is no differentiate. It is not differentiated between MD and DNB students actually. So whatever, if you consider like Maharashtra as a state. So if a Maharashtra person who is pursuing MD or MS from a government college in Maharashtra, if he gets like 60,000, the DNB institute who like, any person who is pursuing a DNB, any candidate who is pursuing a DNB in Mumbai or Maharashtra, will be getting that equivalent amount. Like he also will be getting 60,000 per month as per the state government has decided. The institute have to pay them that amount of stipend as equivalent to the government.
Yeah, good to hear, Dr. Akif. So, let's move forward for our next agenda. Especially, we are talking more about here the MD and DNB, right? There is one more course we have, which is MS, right? So how a candidate can decide, right, which course needs to be selected, whether it's MD or it's MS. A different differentiation between the medicine and surgery, right? So if you have some walkthrough on those.
Okay, see, for surgical branches, I think government colleges is always the best because see, surgery, for anybody to be a surgeon, they need to do surgeries on patients. So anybody will learn only if they do surgeries or if they are given free hand to practice surgeries. So since government colleges are government bonds, there is more exposure for the like medical students to get that procedures. Free hand is given by the professors as well to perform surgeries, and that's how they are trained much better when compared to DNB or maybe to MS students who are pursuing in a private institutes. Because see, wherever in the private institute, actually the patients or somebody are going to pay for them. They're paying money for their surgeries. So even the professors and everybody, nobody is going to take any kind of risk, and they mostly try to be in safe side. So the chances of getting a procedures in a private institutes, maybe in MS or maybe DNB, are much lesser when compared to a government college setup. So for us also, like, so if you want to choose a surgical branch, it's always first priority should be given to a government college. And also there are some institutes like railway hospitals or some government colleges also offer DNB institutes. Secondly, you can choose those, like after medical colleges, like government medical colleges, you can choose railway hospitals or a private railway hospitals or a government colleges for giving a DNB training. So that you can choose it as second choice for MS, like persons who want to pursue surgery as their career. Actually.
Got it, Dr. Akif. So, Srikanth, any other points to add?
As Dr. Akif told, for surgical branches, government medical has far better actually. For medical branches, if you will get in MD, if you will get in MD, so you can go for MD. After you are not getting MD, or you can go for DNB in better institutes like the Gangaram or Speedy Hinduja, yeah, Stephens, etc. It depends on good. It depends on institute.
Great. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Srikanth. So, coming to the the basic criteria, right? What are those education qualifications required to apply for DNB or MD, or if there is any pass percentage or any other quota which might, or you can walk through us about how we can apply for DNB or MD courses.
See, as we've discussed, like to apply for DNB or for MDMS, it's through the same exam, NEET PG. So we have to, after once you finish MBBS, you apply for NEET PG. And your MBBS marks are not at all given priority unless and until you score same marks. Like if two candidates get the same marks in NEET PG, then if you want to choose a rank, like whom to give priority, then secondly, the MBBS percentage is given as criteria. Otherwise, the procedure is same. You finish your MBBS, you give NEET PG entrance. If you get a rank, then you apply for NEET PG counseling or DNB counseling separately.
Thank you so much, Dr. Akif. So, I guess we have covered more about our agenda here. All right, let's move to the next session which is a Q&A, and we have taken some questionnaires from general public, right? There are some posts where we have taken. And I wanted to put on this particular forum so we can get some advice from both of you, right? So can we go ahead and start?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So the first question is like public does not know much about DNB, right? And when you say it is a diplomat of national board, they would ask you whether it's a diploma or a degree, right? So these are some kind of rumors which always be there in the heads of our candidates. So let's clarify, one and all, so that it will be easy for us, our candidates, to choose wisely.
Yes, yeah, there is a slight problem in that. Actually, the name is a little bit misnomer actually. So they named it as Diplomat of National Board. And to be very correct on that, like it's not a diploma course, it's a proper 3 years course, which is equivalent to MD. Like the MD candidate do it for 3 years. DNB candidates also do it for 3 years, and it is considered even by the government of India, it is considered equivalent. So both of them are equivalent. It's not a diploma course, it's like almost equal to MD. Yes, most of the persons like outside world doesn't know, common people, not only common people, even other medical staff other than doctors, they are not aware of what actually DNB means. So whenever we say DNB, they like give a blank face or something like what it is actually. So to be clear, DNB is nothing but it's an MD only, but we are doing it from a corporate hospitals actually, and it is equivalent to that.
Thank you, Dr. Akif. I guess, as Dr. Akif has clearly stated, right? So it's not a, diploma. So don't get confused. Choose the course very wisely. You can go with DNB as well as MD, right? All right. So let's move to the next question. If you take, the second question, someone has asked is like, they have a question in regards to like, if they do DNB in the future, will they be eligible to, take DM course in future?
Yes, all DNB candidates can do DM if a medical branch is to be chosen, or if they are from a surgical branch, they can do MCH. As myself, I am doing, so I have finished my DNB and now I am doing DM cardiology. So yes, all DNB candidates are eligible for DM or MCH.
Okay, that's good to hear that they are eligible. And what is the criteria to apply for DM then? Is it same with the NEET?
Yes, there's a separate exam for that again. It's a NEET. It's called NEET Super Specialty Exam, which is also conducted once a year. So after you finish your MDMS or a DNB, then you apply for that. And once you clear, you get a rank, and then you apply for counseling separately. like again separately for DNB and as well as for DM or MCH.
Got it. Got it. All right. My next question is for Dr. Srikanth. So there is very common question going around. And the question is, who is the best doctor? Is it MD or a DNB? What is your take on it?
Actually, the best doctor will be decided by how good your skills are and how you are dealing with your patients. That's it only. It's not depends on either DNB or MD.
Great, well answered, Srikanth. I believe to make it short, it's like whoever has the clinical skills, will be the best doctor. Thank you. One final question is for Dr. Akif. Why do MBBS graduates do DNB, knowing that the passing rates are very, very less compared to MD? So this is a common question, I believe, which is, or you can say it's scared in a candidate's mindset, before choosing a DNB. So let's clarify that.
Yeah, it's a very valid question. Actually, yeah, most of us, like most of our junior colleagues, have those doubts that yes, I completely agree with that. DNB pass percentage is less. It was used to be much lesser before. Now it is improving slowly. So see, basically, few reasons for that is that in MD or MS, you have your practical exams in your own institute. Like you give your practical exam in your own college where your professors knows you and like they have seen you working and all. So they slightly give slight priority or preference to you, and they know you, okay, how you have worked. So that's why the chances of passing is also much higher in like MD or MS. Whereas in DNB, you do not give your exams in your own center. You give it in your outside. You give it outside of your state actually. So where everybody, there is no internals actually, like everybody is external. So everybody is new to you. All the professors, they don't know how you have worked. They have never seen you working. They're not even aware of what knowledge you have. So based on single exam, they try to assess your knowledge. And if you're having an off day, you may not be able to clear that. Yes, pass percentage is a problem, but it shouldn't be a big concern actually. So because as the pass percentage is being increasing slow by day, like year by year, the pass percentage is increasing. And if at all you like for by any bad luck you are not able to clear your exam in first attempt, most of us like 90 to 95% of the candidates clear it in their second attempt. So which is like 6 months after that. So I think 6 months is okay. Like many of our medical students, like they have a fear of passing and failing, and that's why they don't choose DNB even if they know DNB also have a good scope to learn and everything. And they keep wasting their years, like they waste like 1, 2 and 3, 4 years like to prepare for to get a MD seat rather than considering DNB as an option. So they keep wasting 3, 4 years, which is not, I don't think it's a right decision to waste so many years in a medical career, because we ourselves has a long career. Like we have a 5.5 years of MBBS, then we have to do PG, which is for 3 years. Then again, if you want to pursue super specialty, again 3 years. So it is almost of 12 years. In this, I'm saying if you all clear it in all once, you finish it in 12 years. But if at all, like most of us, like many of us takes time. Like after you do an MBBS, you prepare 1 year or maybe 2 years to get your PGC. And again, after doing PG, if you want to do DM, again, you prepare for 1 or 2 years to get your MDC. So it's almost like 15 to 16 years on an average, any doctor will take to complete his education. So there is also, it's a long process, and you do not want to waste more years considering that you want to do only MD and not doing DNB. See, I can give my example to everyone. Like I finished my DNB and now I'm doing a DM. So nobody asks me whether it doesn't matter whether I've done a DNB or MD previously, because now anyways I'm doing a DM. So it's not going to make a big difference. So if you have clarity that you want to pursue super specialty, you can definitely go for DNB and you can save your years. As many of my colleagues are still like they were getting DNB, but they have this stigma, so they have not taken DNB, and then now still they want to take MD, and they're still preparing for MD, whereas I have went to up to DM. So I'm not saying there is some inferior, but I'm saying people tend to waste years hoping to get an MD seat. So I think, see, if you get an MD seat, it's okay. But if you're not getting an MD seat after 1 or 2 years, you should not waste more and more time. You should take a DNB from a good institute. Should finish it like in future anyways. It all depends upon how your clinical skills is. It doesn't matter you are a MD or DNB. It doesn't going to make a big sense. You have to practice your knowledge as well as you have to enjoy your life. You cannot like keep reading, and you do not want yourself to settle when you are at 40 years of age or 45 years of age. So I think we can, everybody, like for a medical branch for sure, you can definitely choose DNB as your career or DNB. And if you're considering surgical branch, yes, I think then you may have to think you have to choose it either in government colleges or in railway hospitals. And
Very
even
valid
in, I
point,
think,
Rakib.
yeah, surgical branches may not be much problem. Like if few of us are ready to adjust for 3 years. So look, most of us, like after doing 3 years, they again go and join in a government college to do senior residency. So most of the, if they have a knowledge, they can practice again 1 year there and they can still learn that. So you can still, my priority will be to save years. Do not waste much years in preparation only. You have to live your life as well. So do not waste time, I will say.
I hope my all viewers will, hearing you and, they will take your advice. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Rakib. One personal question, which many of us on a daily basis use, right? A apple a day, keep a doctor away. So how true is that statement?
See, yes, apple is a healthy thing to eat. So yeah, obviously a healthy diet will definitely help you to prevent from disease and also to prevent from us like doctors. Okay. So yeah, like along with doctors or medicines, yes, you have to be healthy. Like you have to eat healthy. You have to be fit. You have to do regular exercises, which will keep your body fit and also it will keep your mind and everything relaxed. So yeah, I think a good healthy diet is much important than considering a doctor to visit. So actually, so that will be much better actually.
Great. Srikanth, any other views you want to add?
No, actually, as Dr. Rakib, already Dr. Rakib told that even I used to tell to my patients, healthy diet is always necessary to keep healthy or keep body healthy.
Yeah. Thank you, doctor. So before we wrap up, is there any kind of final advice you both can wanted to provide to our viewers? Please feel free to add. So it will be helpful for them, to whether to choose in this particular which course to be needs to be selected, or any health advice if you want to give. Please feel free.
Okay, so yeah, my advice will be yes. See, if you are getting a MD seat in a good government college, yes, you should prefer that. I'll say yes, you can still prefer it ahead of DNB. But if you're not getting a seat in a good MD government colleges, you should definitely consider DNB as a good option. It will save your years as well as the amount of knowledge you gain in DNB because it's a more practical world. So okay, you will be getting direct practical exposure, and after coming out, you need not again adjust to the private sector. So there is a lot of advantages of pursuing career in DNB. So yes, if you're not getting a good MD seat, then you can definitely consider DNB. Definitely in medical branches, maybe in surgical branches, you may have to think. You may have priority should be more given to government colleges when compared to private MD and private MS seats as well as the DNB seats.
Thank you, Dr. Akif. Any final takes, Dr. Srikanth?
Well, as per my opinion, same. If you want to do medical branches, if you will get MD, if you will get MD government medical college, you should go for you should prefer MD medical college government medical college only. If you will not get, and you can go for a better institute like better institute in DMB, like I have already told you that, and Akif told that Gangaram or Stanley's or PD Hinduja, like you can choose in that method.
Great, yeah. Okay, I guess this end up our session. Thank you, Akif and Srikanth, for spending your valuable time and sharing your viewpoints, right? And we are also requesting our viewers to add their questions on the comment box so our experts can answer, right? And we are also requesting, if you like this our video, please hit subscribe so that you will keep on getting the most interesting and knowledgeable videos.
Yeah.
So please hit subscribe, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.